Welcome back. We began this program with a story about Maine's copies of the Declaration of Independence.
As part of that reporting, Don Kerrigan decided we could do something more. He's back with the part we don't usually hear.
So, we know the Declaration is one of America's most important documents, but since we got out of high school, or for some, maybe even during high school, how many of us have actually taken the time to read it? So, we did, with some help and in a very appropriate spot. The Harpswell Meetinghouse, built in 1757, was also a church, and it was one of the places in July 1776 where the Declaration of Independence was publicly read. So we asked 4 local Harpswell guys, Historical Society President David Hackett, Dave Sparks, Nelson Barter, and Jim Nelson, to join our whole 207 team, those in front of and behind the camera, in reading key portions of that amazing document.
When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another,
and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government.
Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation until his assent should be obtained. And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend them.
He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers.
He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries.
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He is affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us.
For protecting them by a mock trial from punishment or any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent.
For depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of trial by jury.
For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments.
He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun, with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation.
He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country.
To become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions.
Do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states.
That they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved.
And that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all of the acts and things which independent states may of right do.
And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
The Declaration of Independence. Pretty strong words, huh? If you want to do something on the 4th of July, those four guys from Harpswell will read the Declaration of Independence, the whole thing, at the Harpswell Meetinghouse and before a public audience. And I think it's worth hearing.
And as we know from having been in that building, the sense of history there is palpable.
It's amazing.
Sure is.
And to hear the red word, it's powerful.
Yeah,
Very powerful.
it is, more than I expected.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Don.